The following is a presentation of the Greater Binghamton Progressive Media Center.
Okay, welcome to the show. This is a new show. The first time we're doing it is this semester. The show is called The Philosophy of Yoga, and I am co-host and co-producer Bill Huston, and I am here with
Edmond Cotton.
Hi, Edmond. How you doing?
Great.
So, the philosophy of yoga. First of all, why don't you introduce yourself? Can you talk about, you have something to do with yoga, don't you?
Yeah. I'm an instructor. I teach yoga at my studio. It's Vishnu's Couch Yoga Studio. It's in Binghamton at 61 Prospect Avenue. On the 4th floor. It's in the same building as the Art Theater in Mission.
The Art Theater in Art Mission?
Yeah.
In addition to teaching yoga, you also do meditation, and can you...
Yeah. Actually, yoga includes meditation. Yoga is really includes 8 different aspects or limbs. Literally, it's what it means. Mm-hmm. And meditation is one of them. The ones that you'd probably most familiar with, the asanas or postures. But that's just one aspect of yoga. And in the West, that's the most popular aspect. So most yoga classes that you go to will emphasize a lot of asanas, a lot of postures.
Okay, right. I think that most people, in fact, I was looking for a clip of this Penn and Teller show that was on, and it was talking about, it was definitely playing up on the kind of the popular impression that they were saying at one point. It's all stretching. It's just stretching, people. But it's much more than just stretching, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, you said meditation. What are some of the other aspects of yoga?
Well, I think it's important to understand that yoga as a whole, which includes all the 8 limbs of it, are really different strategies, if you will, for allowing everyone to have access to this, to the benefits of yoga. And maybe it'd be better if we kind of start out what is yoga.
Okay, well, let me ask that. What is yoga, Edmond?
Yeah. Well, yoga literally means union. The word yoga means union. And in its highest ideal, it refers to the union of the individual self and the cosmic self, or unmanifest, completely absolute self. You could think of this as God, or in a personified form, it's God. So basically, that's the highest ideal of yoga. But you can also think of the word as union as the bringing together of things that are separate, or apparently separate. So mind and body, though they exist within the same physical form, really are two separate aspects of ourselves. And yoga tries to bring, the idea of yoga is to bring union or harmony into any state there in which separation exists. So yoga in general, as a general perspective, you can just say it's union, the union of pairs of opposites.
Is this this sounds somewhat parallel to the sort of the Asian or Oriental concept of yin and yang? It sounds like to me.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any pair of opposites, and yin and yang is just a different approach or a way of codifying the principles. But really, it's really the same thing they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what yoga tries to do is to bring harmony into a system where there's opposites. So wherever you find duality, there's a potential for conflict.
With a union, it refers to all of these different sort of divine or archetypal pairs of opposites, maybe like male and female, or space, sun and moon,
up and down, any kind of opposites that you care to
space
identify.
And solid, yeah. Okay.
And its purpose is to bring union or harmony into that area of opposites. So you could think of it even as simply as the breath. There's two aspects to the breath. There's an inward breath and an outward breath.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing the breath into harmony is a way of bringing peace into the whole physiology and psychology.
Breath is a huge part of yoga, would you say? Yeah. In fact, we were talking before the show about all of the different types and forms of yoga. There are some forms of yoga that breath is more important than others.
Correct, like Kundalini, for instance. There the emphasis really is on breath and meditation too, but and also postures, but not as much as, let's say, power yoga or Ashtanga yoga, which typically emphasize a lot of postures and a lot of what we would probably refer to more as physical exertion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's just one aspect of yoga. And all the yoga basically all of the yoga that we practice in the West emphasizes a lot of postures, a lot of asanas, which is just one aspect of yoga. So I should probably give you a quick rundown of the limbs of yoga, or the different aspects of it. So we talked about asanas, which is a big part of it. But there's also pranayama, which is breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation, of course, dhyana. Concentration, dharana. Samadhi, which is the experience of pure consciousness. And prior to all of this, the first two steps are really observances, things that you can do to help create a better, more harmonious environment with everyone else around you, and also the environment. So principles these are basically principles that you observe, like non-violence, for instance, and truthfulness and things like that. So that's one of the branches of yoga. It's called yamas. There's another branch called niyamas, and that deals specifically with more integrating your personal harmony. So things like purification, self-study, devotion to God, things like that. These are like more individual choices that we have on how to bring ourselves more in harmony with ourselves.
Like I know one of the niyamas is tapas, which is discipline, and I think that I know that in like Kundalini, each one of these has different practices associated with it, right? Each one of these different forms of yoga,
correct.
I know
techniques would probably be a better word.
Like techniques, like sometimes it has to do with like saying a mantra, for example,
yes.
or a particular way of breathing, or a particular
yes.
style of meditation.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And there's also one called pratyahara. Pratyahara is really the turning of the attention away from outside objects or outside stimulus, and turning your attention inward to the self, inward to your inner being, your inner self, your highest self, you might say. So, typically in a Western yoga class, you'll probably do 3 of these, which is emphasized, which is asanas, which is most emphasized, and some breathing, some depending on the class, but some breathing, and also perhaps some meditation. And if those 3 are included, then I would say it's a fairly rounded class.
Mm-hmm. We're blessed in this area, aren't we? We have quite a few people that are instructing yoga. There really is
correct,
quite a lot of choices in the area, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, can you? What are some of the other people and styles, other yoga instructors in the area that you know about? Do you want to mention anybody else or any other styles that are? I know there's Yoga Time in Johnson City. They teach a variation of Kundalini and Hatha, maybe, I think.
Kundalini, I think, is basically what they teach, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not as versed as what everyone else is doing, but
maybe I shouldn't ask you about what other people are doing. Let's concentrate on the kind of things that you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you come to my studio, and my take on yoga is really one that incorporates and integrates all these 3 aspects of yoga, which is the breathing, the asanas, and the meditation. Now, the meditation really includes the last 3 aspects of, or I should say 3 limbs of yoga, which is concentration, dharana, meditation itself, dhyana, and samadhi. So those 3 are really what we refer to as meditation. But specifically, dhyana is meditation. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you come to my studio, the emphasis is on meditation. The emphasis is on, it's called mindful yoga. So it's yoga practice that includes asanas, it includes breathing, but the emphasis is on mindfulness. And so what we do is focus on doing the postures mindfully. For instance, doing the breathing mindfully, mindful of everything that is happening with you physically, mentally, emotionally,